Hey guys, so welcome back to another video. Today's video I wanted to briefly talk about females and female training splits and programs that they should be following to eke out the best results. And one of the most common questions I always hear and get asked is, should females be doing the same training splits and programs as males? So in this video I just wanted to give a few of my tips and advice on what I think is best for females. A little bit of an insight on what females are capable of doing when it comes to like training, and most of this is obviously from anecdotal experience with a lot of my female clients that I've trained, and from obviously all the research that I've done on this subject. So first and foremost, on average, most females mature quicker than males. So females can generally start strength training, so this is more specifically when it comes to strength training, so like powerlifting, etc. Females can tend to begin their strength training programs before males because they mature a lot quicker and a lot faster than males do. But when it comes to should females be doing the same training programs as males, or should they be doing something completely different, the fundamental principle should always be the same. So if we're looking at powerlifters and strength trainers, female and males, they should all fundamentally be doing the same exercises. You know, your compound lifts, squats, barbell press, deadlifts, all those three main compounds, overhead press, etc., etc. They should always be doing the fundamental principles, regardless of what the sex is. But when it comes to more so like hypertrophy, bodybuilding, bikini athletes, etc., there are some things that we can consider when it comes to females and their training. Now, one of the things that we need to know is that females have a higher muscular endurance, so they are able to train with more volume and more sets in comparison to males. Males have a higher muscle strength capacity, so men can on average lift a lot more weight than females, simply just due to obviously the male androgens, male producing more testosterone than females and carrying more muscle mass on their body. So essentially they are just going to be by nature stronger than females. So females can get away with a lot more like muscular endurance stuff, so they can get away with a lot more volume, a lot more sets, drop sets, etc. If you've ever been into one of your local gyms and you see that woman who's done a leg session and she's done like squats, front squats, back squats, a hat squat, a glute bridge, a glute kickback, leg extension, leg curls, lion leg curls, you know, you name it, they've done every single exercise and they're doing like 3-4 sets on each single one. If you, the male, looking at it, you'd think, Jesus Christ, my soul would have been teared out of me by like the 4th exercise. That's simply because females have a higher muscular endurance capacity, so they can do a lot more. Also, we have to understand that when it comes to females have a higher recovery capacity as well, simply due to obviously the female androgen or the female sex hormone estrogen, which obviously aids in recovery, growth and repair. Because females have a higher level of estrogen in their body, they simply can recover a lot faster than males, obviously with the exception of anabolics when it comes to males. If males are using anabolics, they will recover at quicker, more efficient rates, but we're just more so talking on average, so the general pop, those who are natural. Females will recover a lot quicker than males, so therefore they can do more work and they can train more frequently. Most of this, again, like I said, is on average. It's a very broad question and subject because there's so many considerations that we have to take in. So a lot of this take with a pinch of salt, and a lot of it is on average. So just averagely speaking, for just the general population, your general female and your general male, we're comparing just the two. We're not looking at, you know, the top elite athletes, and we're not talking about those who are on every single freaking drug there is known to man. We're just talking about the average female and the average male. So let's just say we're talking about an untrained female and an untrained male and putting them into comparison. So in a nutshell, The fundamental principles should always be the same, regardless, when it comes to strength training and powerlifting. They should always be doing their 3 main compounds, regardless of what the sex is. When it comes to bodybuilding, hypertrophy, bikini, physique, figure, toned, etc., females can get away with a bit more volume, and they can also recover a little bit quicker than the average man. So they can train more frequently and they can do more volume. Now, when it comes to specific exercises and programming, I personally think it depends on obviously the category. So if we're looking at like a female bikini athlete, their category doesn't require like dense muscle around the clavicle and the anterior delt. Not so much in comparison to things like physique and figure, etc. So when it comes to like a bikini athlete who's training for a bikini competition, I personally would never put any kind of chest workouts into their program. So I wouldn't put any chest exercises like a dumbbell press, an incline press, a Smith press, pec flies, anything along those lines. I just think it's completely irrelevant for that category. Also as well, in my opinion, with a lot of my females, I don't think that they need a arm like day. I don't think they need one day that's dedicated to just arms, and I also don't think that they need as much arm work as a male would need in their training program. So for a lot of my bikini athletes, the bikini female athletes that I train, I don't have them doing things like rope extensions or preacher curls or dumbbell unilateral curls or anything along those lines. I just think, again, it's completely irrelevant for their category that they're trying to work towards, or for whatever their goal is. So hopefully that gives a little bit of an insight. I don't think there's much more to really add onto this question and this subject in regards to what should females do. I know there's that whole obviously misconception with if females train just like men, they're going to get bulky like men. We have to remember that males have more male androgens, so they have more testosterone, and also muscle distribution in men is a lot different in comparison to females. So when it comes, let's think of just the upper body, men will distribute their muscle more evenly, spread across their body, so you'll have more dense thick muscles around their chest, the clavicles, the anterior delts, their shoulder, the caps, their lats, etc. in comparison to females. So if you got a male and a female doing the exact same program, the exact same amount of sets, and the exact same amount of repetitions, one thing that we have to consider is the load is going to be completely different, because the male is just by nature going to be stronger than the female. When it comes to the muscle distribution, the men will have a higher muscle distribution than the female. So don't think just picking up a barbell, or not picking up a barbell, but picking up a dumbbell and doing dumbbell bench presses, or doing bicep curls, or doing practically everything in concurrent as like a male would, you're going to look exactly like a male would. It just won't happen unless you are somebody who is using exogenous steroids. But that's a whole completely different topic when it comes to females. So yeah, like I said, I hope that's pretty much answered most of the questions correlated with females and training programs, and should females be training identically to males. If there's any questions, any other questions regarding this subject on females and how should they train, please feel free to drop some comments down below. If you are new around here, don't forget as well to support the channel by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Cheers, guys.